Well, the moment of reckoning has arrived for this movie, my friends. Blue Beetle is out in theaters right now. People are going out to see it. I'm going out with my son to see it tonight. I'm going to be doing a review on it that'll be uploaded soon after I see it. I'm not exactly sure when, but it shouldn't be too long. I'm actually going to be going in with a fresh take because I have never read Blue Beetle comics. I've always been a Superman guy. I did see Jamie Reyes' Blue Beetle in Smallville many years ago because I'm a big Superman guy. You know, that's mainly what I've read for DC. And so when I saw Smallville, he was guest starring in an episode. And I think that was the one that also had Booster Gold in there, and which I think James Gunn is also supposed to be doing in the new DCU future slate. But neither my son nor I have ever read a Blue Beetle comic. I know that I've played as him in the Injustice video games, and I've also seen him in the cartoons, but I have never read a Blue Beetle comic book. And I think that a lot of people going to see this movie will have not read the comic books. And I think that's completely okay. I think that you should go in with a fresh experience because movies are a different type of medium. You know, they're not the same. But it looks like Blue Beetle is not going to be making a lot of money. And that is a shame, but it's expected because of the comments that the director has made. And I think that plays a huge part in it. I also think that James Gunn's acquiring of DC Studios has also thrown a wrench into the promotion of this movie, as well as the writer's strike that also threw a wrench in things for this movie. There's a lot of problems with this movie. But we're going to read this article. Check this out. Box office Blue Beetle takes flight with $3.3 million in previews. I actually read on the internet a little bit ago today that that's actually $6 million less than The Flash made. That's actually insane. And by the way, I think it's funny they say he takes flight and it shows Blue Beetle like barely above the water here in this photo. It's just like he's barely taking flight, barely taking off. You know, it's kind of ironic if you think about it. Barbie has reigned over the box office with a historic hot pink theatrical run over the past 4 weeks, but now it's facing its biggest challenge yet, DC's latest superhero film, Blue Beetle. The comic book film, led by Cobra Kai star Zolo Mariduena, picked up $3.3 million in Thursday previews at the domestic box office. Womp womp, that's actually really bad. It'll be a close box office battle between Barbie and Blue Beetle. Imagine being a superhero movie with a big budget. Okay, 120 million or whatever that is not a small amount. But Marvel, I know they push like 250 million plus on everything that they make. But that's still a big budget for a movie like this, even if it's supposed to be small scale. But imagine battling against Barbie, okay, which is a film that's been in the theater for weeks. You remember like when any DC or Marvel movie used to come out, that was like the only thing that people talked about for a while. But now superhero fatigue is of course setting in for a lot of people. So now this movie has to battle a movie that's already been in theaters for a while. But the latter is tipped to come out on top in its opening weekend. Blue Beetle is projected to make between 25 million to 32 million this weekend, which that's a projection for a box office flop, to be frank. Because any other film that's come out with that amount of money, yeah, it's basically been a flop. While Barbie is poised to add $17 million to $20 million in its fifth week. Yeah, that movie just doesn't stop. It just keeps going up and up and up. Directed by Angel Manuel Soto, Blue Beetle is DC's first superhero movie led by a Latino actor. Of course, they put that at the forefront. I guess that's their most important part of the movie. You know, it's not just about being a superhero saving innocent lives. It's about representation, and that is something that they have been pushing really, really hard for this movie. And you can see that same kind of pushing in articles like this. Blue Beetle director brings DC's first Latino superhero to life. The media is all over this. USA Today is all over this. Quote, "We never get this chance," which is completely untrue. I mean, the fact that Zolo Mariduena is in this movie should be proof enough that people are going to see this movie because of him. Let's just be honest, okay? I can't imagine that people would see this movie if it was anyone else. People love Zolo Mariduena, okay? Because he is the kid from Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is an awesome show, and we love him, okay? And he's a relatable character. And I'm actually hearing that he's really relatable in this movie too. So I'm giving this movie a chance. I'm going to go see it, okay? Even though a lot of people are apparently not going to see it. I know that like Angry Joe tweeted that he got his movie tickets and he saw that most of the seats were empty in the theater. I don't know if that's any indication that this movie is going to flop, but I do see that the box office projections are really low. So that could be a really, really big pointer to how this movie is going to do financially. From the get-go, Puerto Rican director Angel Manuel Soto understood the responsibility and pride of making history with Blue Beetle, DC's first Latino-led superhero movie. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what they're doing. This is what they're promoting the movie to be. It's just this representation movie. I mean, if you think about it, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know how hard the messaging is. I've seen a couple of reviews from people already, spoiler-free, but I've seen that, you know, they kind of avoid the whole racial aspect of it. The director has admitted that there's colonialism in this movie. You know, it talks about racial issues between whites, Latinos, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the last thing I want to do in my reviews is talk about that kind of stuff. I just want to talk about the movie's quality as a whole. You know, the based on its merit. I hate talking about race. I really do. But these people keep pushing race in these movies, and it just gets so tiresome, you know? In Blue Beetle, 22-year-old Jamie Reyes, played by Cobra Kai standout Zola Maridueña. Shout out to that guy. Great actor, man. He really is a great actor, and I am happy for him that he got a big role like this. It just really is a shame, the timing of the release, the comments from the director, the writer strikes, everything. He really does deserve better. Like, I genuinely believe that Zolo deserves so much better than this. He really does. But his hometown of Palmera City is not the same as he left it. Gentrification and displacement have affected his family's business and childhood home, and Jamie, as the eldest child, wants to take on the responsibility of helping his loved ones financially while also finding his purpose. That is until he crosses paths with an unlikely love interest. Seeking a job at Cord Industries, Jamie runs into Jenny Cord, niece of CEO, blah, blah, blah. Directing Blue Beetle and bringing a close-knit Mexican-American family to life on the big screen, portrayed by a largely Mexican cast, was not something Soto took lightly. So yeah, that's what the media is going to say. And if people don't go to see this movie, I can see the media calling people bigots and racists for not going to see this movie. Now, I know that they're really trying to get the Latino community to go and see this movie. I'm pretty sure that's why they're promoting the movie in this way. But the box office projections speak the truth. I mean, they tell you exactly what audiences think of this as a whole. I mean, if this movie fails, it's the director's fault. And it's James Gunn's fault. And honestly, I really don't. If he ends up being a part of the DCU, I wonder what people are going to think of him and if he has a lasting effect on audiences. Is Blue Beetle part of James Gunn's new DCU? That is the big question. If you're a fan of superhero movies, you're probably well aware that DC is in something of a transitional phase. Yeah, I'd say so. One that they can't decide on completely. You know, James Gunn has praised The Flash, and he's praising Blue Beetle, saying that he's going to be a part of the future of the DCU. But there's just so many problems with the future of the DCU right now, and nothing's really concrete. Nobody can really have a solid idea on what to expect from this. So people are skeptical approaching these kinds of things. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and share it if you want to see more content like this. Consider subscribing. I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Say goodbye, Play-Doh. Meow, meow.